their rise and fall revealed. Hello everyone, welcome back to another exciting video. This is Jennifer from 90 Day Insider bringing you the latest updates, drama, and behind-the-scenes stories you don't want to miss. Let's get started. Andrei and Elizabeth burst onto the 90 Day Fiancé scene like a whirlwind, instantly capturing the attention of viewers with their charm, drama, and struggles that felt easy to relate to. From the very first episode, fans were hooked on their chemistry. Andrei's quiet but strong personality, matched with Elizabeth's fiery energy, created a balance that made every scene they were in entertaining to watch. Social media immediately lit up with fan discussions, speculation, and theories about their relationship as their journey unfolded. Their early storylines highlighted all the excitement of an international romance, while also showing the challenges of cultural differences and the emotional highs and lows of trying to build a life together in front of cameras. Fans loved that their story felt real. Unlike some reality stars who leaned into fake drama, Andrei and Elizabeth's arguments, laughter, and tears came across as authentic. It wasn't polished or forced. From the moment they appeared, it was obvious TLC had found something special. Episodes featuring them consistently drew high ratings, and their following on social media grew rapidly. What fans enjoyed most were their heartfelt conversations about the future, their struggles to be accepted by family, and their humorous misunderstandings with cultural differences. Elizabeth's bold and fiery nature stood out and became one of the most talked about parts of their storyline. It often drove the drama in ways that were entertaining, but also relatable to many. But as their popularity grew, things behind the scenes became more complicated. Insiders later revealed that Andrei and Elizabeth quickly discovered how difficult reality TV fame could be. Producers had expectations, both creative and contractual, that sometimes clashed with their personal lives. While fans saw a couple learning and growing together, behind the cameras there were frequent disagreements about how their story was being told. Arguments arose about which moments would be shown, how scenes were shot, and what narrative the network wanted to highlight. Still, the couple kept thriving on screen. They became one of the most recognizable pairs on 90 Day Fiancé. Their storylines were regularly featured in recaps, fan forums, and online discussions. With merchandise, interviews, and spin-off opportunities coming their way, their star power only grew stronger. Fans rooted for them through conflicts, celebrated their victories, and followed their every move with excitement. Yet, as often happens with reality stars, the higher they rose, the more intense the fall became. The very qualities that made them loved by fans, their honesty, their strong personalities, and their willingness to speak openly, soon became reasons for conflict with TLC. Living under constant public scrutiny, combined with disagreements about creative control, eventually led to one of the most surprising and public firings in the show's history. Elizabeth looked back on those early years with mixed feelings. In an interview, she said it was exciting and fun, but also much harder than it appeared. Every word, every action, every little thing gets scrutinized. You have to be careful, and sometimes no matter what you do, it's not enough, she explained. Fans remembered the joy of their first appearances, the emotional highs, and their relatable journey, but what they didn't see was the mounting pressure behind the cameras that would soon change everything. Sources close to the couple revealed that tensions with producers had been building for months before the news of their firing broke. What viewers saw on screen, the fights, the laughter, the emotional moments, was only a fraction of what the couple was going through during filming. As with many reality shows, producers focus mainly on ratings and drama, sometimes at the expense of the comfort or wishes of the cast. Elizabeth, being outspoken, often clashed with producers. She wanted their story to remain true to life, showing both the ups and downs of their romance. But TLC reportedly pushed for more drama, shaping their story to highlight conflict over authenticity. Andrei, though quieter, also grew frustrated. He reportedly spoke out about how editing made him look negative, or how Elizabeth's fiery reactions were exaggerated for dramatic effect. These frustrations grew into ongoing conflicts with producers. According to insiders, the production team even warned the couple to cooperate or face consequences. Even with those warnings, Andrei and Elizabeth stood firm. They didn't want to let their story be manipulated into something false. Elizabeth especially refused to play the role of the villain, just for better ratings. I'm not going to be someone, I'm not just to make a story more dramatic, she confided to a friend. But while fans respected their honesty, the network reportedly saw it differently. TLC became increasingly frustrated as the couple kept pushing back against production demands. Producers allegedly began keeping track of what they called breaches of contract. This included situations where the couple gave interviews without approval or made small changes to storylines on their own. The tension hit a peak when rumors spread that Andrei and Elizabeth were working on outside deals, brand promotions, interviews, and social media partnerships without TLC's involvement. While many of these opportunities were simply them making the most of their fame, producers painted them as contract violations. Behind the scenes, Andrei and Elizabeth felt backed into a corner. They were forced to choose between taking personal opportunities or staying in the network's good favor. Elizabeth later described that time as toxic, saying, "It started to feel like we were being punished for being ourselves." What once felt like a dream career in reality TV was now a stressful and draining situation. Their rise had been fast and full of promise, but their fall came just as quickly. Fans saw them as a strong and fiery couple, but off camera they were fighting battles against network pressures that the audience never knew about. Their story serves as a reminder that what viewers see in edited episodes is only a small part of the truth. Behind the glamour and drama are real people dealing with challenges, contracts, and struggles that never make it to the screen. For Andrei and Elizabeth, those struggles ultimately cost them their spot on the show that had made them famous. Everything Andrei and Elizabeth did was scrutinized, and every decision they made seemed to be questioned. For them, it no longer felt like the show was about telling their story. It became about control. Andrei, who was more reserved when speaking publicly, admitted privately that he felt the network cared more about ratings than about their well-being. The relationship between the couple and the production team began to break down quickly. Meetings that once felt cooperative turned tense. Small disagreements turned into major arguments, and confrontations became more frequent. Friends close to the couple said they were exhausted, emotionally, mentally, and physically from the constant pressure and nonstop criticism. Then came the moment no one expected. Andrei and Elizabeth were fired. According to insiders, TLC called them into what seemed like a routine meeting. Instead, they were blindsided with shocking news. They were told that their services were no longer required, and that the network would also be filing a lawsuit against them, demanding $100,000 in damages. TLC claimed the couple had violated their contract. Elizabeth was devastated. She later said in an interview, "We had no idea this was coming. One day we were filming, and the next it was over, with a lawsuit on top." The firing sent shockwaves through the 90-Day Fiancé fan community. Social media erupted with questions, outrage, and support. Many fans felt the decision was unfair, believing that TLC had betrayed the couple. Hashtags like #FreeAndrei and Elizabeth and #Justice for the couple began trending across platforms as viewers voiced their anger. People demanded answers and expressed sympathy for the stars they had grown to love. Behind the scenes, the emotional toll was enormous. Elizabeth reportedly cried for hours as she tried to process the sudden loss of her platform and the public embarrassment of facing a lawsuit. Andrei, though quieter, was deeply affected too. Friends said he was crushed by the reality of losing everything they had worked for. The couple, once celebrated as fan favorites, now faced uncertainty, heartbreak, and anger. The firing also sent a strong message to other cast members. Sources claim TLC wanted to make it clear that no one was untouchable. Andrei and Elizabeth's quick rise to fame, their outspoken personalities, and their refusal to completely follow producer demands were cited as warnings to others. For TLC, this was about protecting the brand and ensuring that cast members followed contracts with no exceptions. But for fans, the firing sparked outrage. Discussions exploded online. People wondered whether TLC had gone too far. Was the lawsuit really justified, or was it simply a way to punish a couple that refused to play by the producer's rules? Many began questioning the ethics of the network and whether reality TV fame always came with the cost of personal freedom and dignity. Elizabeth, in one of her interviews, explained the deeper pain of the situation. She said, "It's not just the show. It's our life, our story, and the trust we had in the people who were supposed to be supporting us. Being fired and sued, it's heartbreaking and frustrating, but I won't let them define our story. Andrei fully agreed, and Elizabeth explained that they were determined to fight for their reputation and their future despite the obstacles ahead. This dramatic chapter set the stage for what would become the most explosive part of their journey: the lawsuit, Elizabeth's exclusive revelations, and the fallout that threatened to reshape their entire legacy in the 90-Day Fiancé world. The firing itself was shocking, but the $100,000 lawsuit made things even more dramatic. Legal insiders explained that the lawsuit included multiple accusations of contract violations. TLC claimed the couple had made public statements without approval, taken part in unapproved media appearances, and engaged in actions that undermined production. For Andrei and Elizabeth, the lawsuit wasn't just about money. It represented both financial and emotional devastation. Fans were left to wonder if the couple could recover from such a huge public setback. In her most emotional interview yet, Elizabeth opened up about the pain. "It's been incredibly difficult," she admitted. Her voice carried both sadness and anger. "We worked hard. We trusted the network. And suddenly everything we built feels like it's crumbling around us. Being fired and then sued. It's more than just a career blow. It's personal." She described how shocking the news had been. One day they were filming, and the next day they were served with legal papers demanding six figures. Elizabeth explained how sleepless nights, constant stress, and public judgment made daily life hard. Not only were they facing a complicated legal battle, but they were also living under a microscope, criticized by fans, the media, and even acquaintances who didn't know the whole story. "It's overwhelming," she said. "Everywhere we turn, it feels like we're being watched, judged, and punished." She also shared her side of the conflict with TLC. Elizabeth insisted they never intended to break their agreement. Many of the claims in the lawsuit, she said, were either exaggerated or twisted by producers. "We just wanted to share our story," she explained. "We never meant to go against the network or the show, but it feels like everything we did was turned into something it wasn't." Andrei, though less vocal, reportedly agreed completely. He felt their only goal had been to stay true to themselves and live authentically. Protecting their integrity was more important to them than playing roles the producers tried to assign. Meanwhile, fans rallied to their defense. Social media filled with messages of encouragement and anger at the network. Many believed TLC had mishandled the situation, and some argued that suing the couple for $100,000 was extreme and unnecessary. Hashtags like hashtag support Andrei and Elizabeth and hashtag TLC Injustice appeared across Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Fans showed not only their loyalty, but also their belief that the couple deserved the chance to tell their story honestly. The lawsuit raised bigger questions about the ethics of reality TV contracts. Insiders pointed out that networks often include strict clauses to control cast members, but the size and timing of this particular lawsuit caught many by surprise. Even experienced producers admitted the move was unusual. For Andrei and Elizabeth, the fight ahead was more than a legal one. It was about protecting their dignity, defending their choices, and holding on to the life they had built together. Their journey, which started with love and excitement on 90-Day Fiancé, had transformed into a struggle against one of the biggest reality TV networks in the world. Their story became not just about romance and family, but about freedom, authenticity, and survival in the world of reality television. That'd be why firing Andrei and Elizabeth and then immediately taking legal action, TLC sent a clear and powerful message. The network wanted to show that compliance was mandatory and that any kind of dissent, whether real or imagined, would have consequences. For Elizabeth, the emotional aftermath of the firing and lawsuit was overwhelming. She admitted that it forced her and Andrei to step back and reevaluate everything: their priorities, their relationships, and their future in reality television. "We've lost trust," she confessed in an interview. "We love being on the show, but we can't ignore how this has affected us personally. This isn't just a job. It's our life, our story, and they're trying to take that away." Even in the midst of heartbreak, Elizabeth made it clear that she was not going to simply accept what had happened. She expressed determination to fight back, both legally and publicly, and to reclaim the story she felt was being stolen from them. She wanted to make sure that people understood their side, not just the version presented by the network. The fallout reached far beyond the couple themselves. Friends and family revealed that the stress of the firing and lawsuit had put a strain on close relationships. Tension had started to grow within their inner circle as everyone struggled to deal with the constant pressure and judgment. At the same time, though, the crisis also seemed to strengthen the bond between Andrei and Elizabeth. Instead of breaking them apart, it brought them closer. They presented a united front and made it clear that they were standing together against what they saw as an unfair attack on both their careers and their lives. "We're fighting for each other," Elizabeth said, "and we're fighting for the truth." Looking forward, the future remains filled with uncertainty. The lawsuit still hangs over their heads as a major financial threat. The possibility of losing a significant amount of money is very real. On top of that, no one knows whether Andrei and Elizabeth will ever be invited back to TLC or to any other reality TV platform. Their careers in the genre are in limbo, and everything depends on the outcome of the legal case. Legal experts who have weighed in on the situation suggest that this case could have a lasting impact on the entertainment industry. It might set a precedent for how networks handle disputes with reality stars, especially those who achieve high levels of fame. For that reason, the story has grown beyond Andrei and Elizabeth. It has become an example of how far networks are willing to go to maintain control and how much risk cast members take when they choose to share their personal lives on camera. For fans, Elizabeth's candid interviews have been eye-opening. They have offered a rare glimpse into the challenges that happen off camera. Viewers are used to seeing the drama, romance, and personal growth that plays out in episodes, but they rarely get to see the legal battles, public humiliation, and feelings of betrayal that happen behind the scenes. Elizabeth's words brought humanity back to the story. She reminded everyone that behind the fame and the bright camera lights, she and Andrei are real people dealing with real pain. Elizabeth explained that what hurt the most was not only being fired, but also being sued by the very network they had trusted. The lawsuit, she said, felt like an attack on their integrity and their right to share their lives in their own way. She stressed that they never wanted to break rules or harm the show. Instead, she felt that their actions were misrepresented and twisted to make them look like they were intentionally working against the network. This, in her view, was unfair and damaging. Andrei, who is usually more reserved, agreed with her fully. He reportedly said in private that all they ever wanted was to be authentic. For him, protecting their dignity and refusing to become characters in a manufactured story was more important than pleasing producers. He believed that being true to themselves was worth the fight, even if it came with painful consequences. Fans have responded with a wave of support. Messages of encouragement have poured in on social media. Many people feel that TLC has mishandled the situation and gone too far by suing the couple. Outrage has fueled hashtags and online campaigns aimed at defending Andrei and Elizabeth. Posts with messages like "Support the couple" and "Justice for Andrei and Elizabeth" have spread across platforms, showing that viewers are not only invested in the drama of the show, but also in the real lives of the people behind it. The lawsuit itself has also sparked a wider discussion about the ethics of reality TV contracts. Insiders have pointed out that networks often include strict clauses that give them enormous control over cast members' actions. These contracts are designed to protect the network, not the individual. The size of this lawsuit, combined with its timing, has even surprised experienced producers, many of whom say that it feels like an extreme response. For Andrei and Elizabeth, the fight is about more than money. It is about protecting their story and reclaiming their dignity. They believe they were wronged, and they want to make sure the truth is heard. Elizabeth has made it clear that she refuses to let the network define who they are or erase what they have built together. Their journey, which began as a story of love, cultural challenges, and the excitement of international romance, has now transformed into something much bigger. It has become a struggle for justice and respect in an industry that often prioritizes drama and ratings over the humanity of its stars. What started as entertainment has turned into a cautionary tale about the cost of fame and the dangers of living under the control of powerful networks. In the end, The firing and lawsuit represent a turning point for Andrei and Elizabeth. From their meteoric rise as breakout stars to the crushing blow of being cut off and sued, their arc has been one of the most dramatic in 90 Day Fiancé history. Elizabeth's honesty and courage in sharing her side has inspired fans to think about what reality television really means and what it takes from those who participate. The outcome of the lawsuit remains uncertain, and no one knows what the future holds for the couple. They may or may not return to television, but what is certain is that they are determined to keep fighting. Andrei and Elizabeth want to protect their story, their dignity, and their future, no matter how difficult the road ahead may be. For viewers, their experience serves as both a cautionary lesson and a reminder. Behind every reality TV storyline are real people with hopes, struggles, and personal battles that often remain unseen. Their story is more than drama for entertainment. It is a reminder of the human cost of fame and the strength it takes to stand up for yourself when the odds are stacked against you. As the weeks went by, the fallout from Andrei and Elizabeth's firing continued to grow. The lawsuit became the centerpiece of conversation not just among fans, but also within the entertainment industry. Other cast members reportedly grew nervous, realizing how easily a disagreement with producers could lead to devastating consequences. The message from TLC was clear. The network was in charge, and challenging that authority could result in not only losing a career, but also facing severe legal action. Elizabeth and Andrei, however, refused to back down. They began working closely with lawyers, determined to fight what they felt was an unfair attack on their character and their livelihood. Their legal team reportedly argued that many of the claims made by TLC were exaggerated or taken out of context. While the network painted the couple as disobedient and difficult, Elizabeth and Andrei insisted that they were simply trying to stay true to themselves and their story. Elizabeth opened up in more interviews, giving fans deeper insight into their struggles. She explained how the lawsuit affected even the smallest parts of their lives. Sleepless nights left her exhausted, and the constant worry about finances and reputation weighed heavily on her and Andrei. She said there were days when even basic tasks felt overwhelming, but the love and support from fans gave them strength to keep pushing forward. Andrei, though less vocal, stood firmly behind Elizabeth. Friends close to the couple described how his quiet strength helped her remain grounded. Together, they leaned on each other, finding comfort in their shared determination to get through the ordeal. Elizabeth explained, "We're fighting for more than just ourselves. We're fighting for our family, our future, and our right to live honestly without being controlled by people who only care about ratings." Meanwhile, the fan response only grew louder. Online campaigns demanding fairness for the couple spread quickly, and hashtags calling out TLC's actions trended multiple times. Supporters wrote thousands of posts, some even pledging to boycott the network until Andrei and Elizabeth received justice. Viewers began questioning whether reality TV could truly be trusted if networks had this much power over people's lives. The story had moved beyond simple entertainment and had become a debate about fairness, authenticity, and respect. Industry insiders also began weighing in. Some acknowledged that networks have always used contracts to maintain control over stars, but many agreed that TLC's lawsuit felt unusually harsh. Others warned that this case could change the way future contracts are written, with cast members becoming more cautious before signing deals. Elizabeth and Andrei, once just a couple sharing their personal journey, had unintentionally sparked a much bigger conversation about the reality TV industry as a whole. Despite the stress, the couple made it clear they weren't giving up. Elizabeth spoke passionately about reclaiming their narrative and not letting the network decide how their story would be remembered. She said, "They can take us off the show, they can file lawsuits, but they can't take away who we are or the truth of what we've lived." Her words resonated deeply with fans, many of whom said they admired her courage. As the legal battle continued, the emotional cost remained heavy. Friends reported that family gatherings felt strained and conversations often turned back to the lawsuit. But at the same time, those closest to the couple saw how united they had become. Andrei and Elizabeth's relationship grew stronger as they supported each other through the hardest challenge of their lives. Their bond became a source of strength, showing that even in the face of betrayal and uncertainty, their love was unshaken. Looking to the future, there are still many unanswered questions. The outcome of the lawsuit will determine not only their financial stability, but also their reputation in the industry. If they win, it could open doors for them to tell their story on their own terms, perhaps through books, interviews, or even new television projects outside of TLC. If they lose, the financial impact could be devastating, and the damage to their image might make it difficult to return to any reality TV platform. For fans, the couple's story has become more than just a storyline on a show. It has become a symbol of resilience, honesty, and the fight for fairness. Elizabeth's openness about their struggles has reminded viewers that behind every reality star is a real human being with real emotions. Her willingness to share the pain, the fear, and the determination to keep going has made their journey one of the most unforgettable in the history of 90 Day Fiancé. Their rise from unknowns to breakout stars, their dramatic fall through firing and lawsuits, and their fight to reclaim their story has created one of the most remarkable arcs the show has ever seen. What began as entertainment has turned into a cautionary tale about fame, control, and the cost of living life in front of cameras. No matter what happens next, one thing is certain. Andrei and Elizabeth are not giving up. They are determined to fight for their story, their dignity, and their future. And in doing so, they have shown fans that behind the edited scenes and dramatic music of reality TV lies something much deeper. The lives of real people trying to navigate love, family, and now, survival in the harsh world of fame. For viewers, this is a reminder that reality TV is never the full picture. Behind every episode, there are untold stories, struggles, and sacrifices that remain hidden. Andrei and Elizabeth's battle with TLC has exposed those hidden truths and given fans a rare look at what really happens when the cameras stop rolling. Their fight is still ongoing, but whether they win or lose, their courage to stand up has already left a lasting mark.